Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second digital semester of your life. Of course, you have already taken a full 15 weeks with these newfound methods of education. Not seeing each other, not meeting each other. It's weird, but it's 2020, the year that so many crazy things have happened, isn't it? So, first, introductions. My name is Andrew Miller. You can call me Andy. I have been an instructor here at DNUE since 2009. I've taught classroom English this whole time. I've also taught freshman English on and off. I've taught the graduate school courses in writing and digital media. And for now, I'm back teaching just classroom English. So today, of course, we'll be covering two videos, as we will for every class, two 25 to 30-minute videos. You should watch them, of course, on the DNUE website. So, of course, this is the original DNUE website as you've used for accessing materials. This is the LMS, which I've been using for the last semester and you will be familiar with in Korean, of course, but this is my English version and I upload my materials here. It might change. This suggests that there might be a new LMS, but I'm using this because it's already 27th of August and I need to upload videos by Monday. So our classes will start next week. Anyways, more on that if it changes. But of course, you will access the videos just like you did last semester. And new for this semester. Now, first, my course has had to change because of the digital delivery. In the past, 2019, we had micro lessons and focus groups. The micro lessons were done in class, and that's the most important part of my course, where you come in and you teach a part of a lesson that I've helped you prepare. And all the information is there when you click on micro lessons. There are different types of lessons. Now, at the moment, you're supposed to come in from week 8. I seriously doubt that right now, but you'll either be doing it in person, in class, when we meet in week 8 to week 14, or you'll be submitting a script, which is the language that you would use in English to deliver that lesson. One or the other. So the structure and the grading will remain the same, whether you come to class in the second half of semester or whether we continue with this digital format, just like last semester. Now, before we get into the work too much, week 1, you're usually enjoying a nice short class and you get to meet and talk what you've done in the vacation, and it's a nice social thing. Unfortunately, because it's 2020, our crazy year, we are not doing that, but just by way of introduction, I've said I've been in DNUE since 2009. I first came to Korea in 1996, actually. I taught at Ding Ding Dang Children's English. That was a fun introduction. It was meant to be just traveling, but I got offered a job at a university at Yeongnam. I taught there for 5 years. Then I opened a language school with my wife, and I taught reading and writing with something called graded readers. We'll talk about it later, for 5 years. Went back to Scotland, returned to my university, the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, did a master's in language teaching, upon which, when I finished, I returned to Kyoto, and I've been there since 2009, been here. So that's me, career. Outside of career, I love bikes. I am addicted to bikes, the non-engine type. I love mountain bikes, road bikes, any kind of bike. And it seems to work for social distancing. You don't need to get too close to people. So I've been able to continue, remain sane, I think. Now I want to hear about you. I don't like this digital media format. I'm not comfortable with screens, neither should you be, I imagine. So I've set up a number of questions that I want you to take a video of you answering. So you can use your phone or your computer, whichever you've been using last semester. Record yourself, aim for around 2 minutes. Quality is better than quantity. Tell me about yourself, your character. What motivates you? What gets you out of bed? You know, for me, it's bikes. In the past, when I meet students, it's getting you inspired to be the best version of you as a teacher, motivating you. It's hard to do when I can't see you and feel who you are. So that's what we're doing here. Me getting to know you. 3, what worries you? Keeps you awake at night. It bothers you. For me, that's climate change, actually. The wildfires in California, the melting ice caps in Greenland, I read this morning. They will never recover. Donald Trump, doesn't he worry everyone? These are crazy times. Your accomplishment you're most proud of. What is it for me? Hold on, let me think about it. I'm back. So I think, as strange as it is for a man in a professor position, as myself to say, graduating university. I wasn't a natural student. I didn't like studying. You know, I wanted to be involved in the field. I wanted to do things. And at that time, it was environmental things. I liked being a countryside ranger. I liked taking children and people on guided walks. I didn't like being in the library. So I tried to leave university a couple of times. I failed to leave. And eventually, just through determination and consistency, graduated. I'm a good student now, of course. I read all the time, but I was just too young. So there you go. What did I not like about last semester's classes? Well, it was a learning process for me. There was constantly, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. Let's do it this way. I've learned what works, what doesn't. So we're going to use Google Classroom. It's quite effective. I think it's quite simple. Students had no big problems. Students, one big change with going digital was my course became more difficult. No longer could you sit in class and say, oh, what's he saying? What's he saying? Ask your classmates or come and see me afterwards in the office or after class. It's harder for students to contact each other, even, it seems. So the content got more difficult. I started including even graduate school content, so it's quite difficult. And that meant it really depended on your English ability and your ability to contact and ask. If you were shy, if you're an introvert person, then you suffered, your score suffered. My solution to that problem is I'm going to post my videos on YouTube as well. Now I spent 2 days this week, 2 full days, trying all the different options for speech to text, for adding subtitles, for delivery methods, and the good old YouTube is still the best one. It's the most accurate. So what'll happen is I'll give you the link. I think it's on that paper actually, the link for my YouTube videos. If you click on that, it'll take you to my channel. And when you open it, this is just a sample from last semester.
Good afternoon.
But when you open it
Or evening.
and you click on, where are we?
April 3rd for me.
CC, closed captions.
I've been going through.
You will see all the subtitles. So not only can you see me talking, not only can you see what I'm talking about, but you can see the words. And of course, one other thing you could do is, if I can find it, you can go to, am I on again? Yep. Go to here, open transcript, and that will give you, did it work? Open transcript. There, it's trying to put it up there. So that will also give you the language. So you could, if you really wanted to, actually, if you toggle timestamps, get rid of the timestamps, you could even take this and copy and paste into Google Translate if you really wanted to. But of course, that defeats the purpose. Ideally, with the subtitles, with all of this, you can even, of course, slow it down. So I can talk a little slower.
Week 3.
It's just a little slow, but you get the idea. There's more ways to help you understand what I'm saying, because I realize in an English delivery course like this, with the increased difficulty of content, your task is all the harder. So this will hopefully solve those problems. Now, of course, you must watch the videos on the LMS. If you only watch them on my Google channel, on my YouTube channel, you'll be registered as absent. So that's the only problem with this system. You will need to go press play on the video, maybe reduce the volume or put it in the side. Just let it play so it shows that you attended the whole video, the whole class, both parts, part 1 and part 2, and go to the YouTube channel and see the subtitles. Of course, if you don't need the subtitles, if your English is good, that's fine. Just watch the video as always on the LMS. Okay? So once again, make sure you do press play and watch both parts of each week's video on the DNUE LMS. This is only a supplement for the subtitles. All right, the video is exactly the same. Right, where are we? So that is your homework for week 2. Any homework must be done by your class day. It should be done by before the next class. So if you're an English major, for example, your class with me is Tuesdays and period 5 and 6. So you should submit your homework by 2 o'clock on the following Tuesday. All of this will be in Google Classroom. So when you go to Google Classroom, where are we? Hold on. So this is an example of one of my classes from last semester. At the top, you'll see stream. So this is the stream. It's basically showing any posts that I make. It shows you any work you need to do, assignments, etc. Click on the next one, classwork. You will see the different topics of the areas. I think they'll be largely the same this semester. I'm still building our website. And it shows you different things that you have to do. So if I click on week 1 feedback, for example, it might take me, if I click on view assignment or this one, to the Google form. Everything will be Google. And so of course you need a Google account. So this was me asking for your feedback last semester about different problems. So everything will be collected in Google. So of course you will need a Google account. I have listed this in our website. So dnuece.weebly.com. That is our website, okay? DNUE CE for Classroom English .weebly.com. And when you go there, you don't need to sign in. You will find this, and it tells you the week by week plan. Now, again, I'm still working on this. All you need to do is look at week 1 right now. And if we start with the course outline, which would be an obvious start, most of these are hyperlinks, by the way. It's more difficult to see on your phone. So I recommend doing homework and things on a laptop or PC. But you'll see, of course, this is a hyperlink. So you click on it, the file opens, and this is our course outline. All right. So first of all, this is our goal. Goals are our goals to improve your confidence as a teacher using English. Now, of course, there's less English being spoken because I'm not seeing and hearing you as much. There's that 2 minutes for next week. So most of this, unfortunately, will be you reading and listening to me in these videos. Also, knowledge of how language is taught. So we're going to go through the different areas of, especially in the micro lessons, teaching vocabulary, using crafts, things you make in class with students, grammar, songs and rhymes, storybooks, making stories, listening lessons, and something called phonemic awareness, which is pronunciation, essentially. And that's the different types of lessons that we will be doing. So next up, of course, grading. Micro lessons will be 20% of your final score. It's usually higher, but because you're not able to see all the examples in class, it's not fair for me to make that score any higher. So most of our course is a continual assessment. So I've got quizzes, 60%. Those quizzes are probably only 2 types. One, Google quiz, things that I put on this website, our website, for homework. And you see your grades as you go along. One feedback I got last semester is I can be a little harsh in grades. I don't just hand out A's and B's and say, oh, that's wonderful, if it wasn't wonderful. I want you to be as prepared as possible to learn from examples. And I don't like sugarcoating rubbish. If it's not good, it's not necessarily your fault. It's maybe something you didn't understand. I give guidance. So all of the grades are there, and there's just little bit by bit by bit. So even if you make a mess of one piece of homework, it's probably 5% or less. So there's lots of pieces of quizzes, homework forms that you submit. And then the final assessment, which is probably a Socrative quiz. I think you've used Socrative before. So not to give away too much, this is an example from my freshman English class. And, you know, it's the kind of thing, you might have something like this and you have to fill in the blank and submit your answers. This can be done on your phone or on a PC or laptop. It is best done with the app Socrative. So if you download the app Socrative Student, then you'll be able to respond to any quizzes I do using Socrative. You don't have to do that right now. In fact, if you don't want to download any more apps, you can do it on a browser, just socrative.com. We will most likely be using Socrative for our final quiz, but probably we'll use Google for most of your other quizzes. So you don't need Socrative yet. Okay, so other things. So we talked about micro lessons. And I'll go into more detail in part 2 of the video about micro lessons. Focus groups, we're not doing strictly this semester. So in the past, that's where you research a topic and present to students. I will be doing the talking because we really need to meet to be able to, for you to do the preparation. So that is what I'm going to be doing myself in the video. So I'll be giving you the theory of how we as people learn, the different input methods that we learn through reading and listening, output through writing and speaking, synthetic approaches and analytic approaches to the syllabus and curriculum, to language teaching structure. So this is about theory. And then we'll do a review in week 7 before we start this green part, which is the focus group. I should really make that green too. Sorry, not focus group. The micro lessons. Sorry, this is the micro lessons where you will either be teaching alone for 15, 20, 25 minutes in school, or more likely, you will be submitting a script to me about your micro lesson. In week 14, instead of week 15, we'll do that final quiz on Socrative. And then what I think is the most important parts, a review. So I'll go over the quiz. We'll go over different problems you might have had in the final stages of the course, things that weren't understood, and give you this cumulative feedback session. And you'll, of course, be busy studying for your other exams, which will be V15 or week 16, perhaps. That is the course outline. Okay. Other housekeeping essentials. You do need Google. So if you don't use Gmail, as it says there, if you don't use Gmail, make a Google account. So if you click on that hyperlink, it will take you to this and you can create a Google account. Okay. Otherwise, if you have Gmail already set up, then just click on login to Google Classroom. Now, you're seeing my login because this is me already logged in as a teacher. But if we go to self-intro questions, so this is your homework, and you click on that, it takes you to, now I save everything in Google to keep it easy for you to access. So that's in my Google Drive. So you can open with Google Docs, probably the easiest way for you, or you can just download it and view it in even Hangul if you want, or Word, and it shows you the different links. So if I click on, now again, it's not going to work for me because I'm logged in, but if you click on, if you're an English major, click on that, takes you to the Google Classroom. That is your join code, so Control C, and then click on this, put it in, and it will allow you to join my Google class. So here is English here. So at the moment, there's no homework, nothing due, no announcements, but your name, once you join, will appear here. Okay? And one more piece of homework for you is a language assessment. So you can get some feedback on your language ability. You click on that, it will take you to a website. You get 25 questions, and it says there are 5 pages. So what it is a question. It's like me asking you, could you tell me your surname? And you respond, which would be the most natural response. So if you think it's this one, you just click that, and so on. So I say, this plant looks dead, and you say, it's sleeping, or whatever you think is the most natural English. There are 25 questions. Keep going till you get the response. Upload your score to the best way. Well, I'm going to let you explore that. There's actually several ways. You can upload it in Google Classroom, or, well, I'm going to let you work it out yourself. I think you've used this before, but it will be for you. And remember, anything that you post is private. Others cannot see your videos. They will not see your scores. So your language test score does not affect our class score. It's only to give me feedback on where your level is in understanding, and to remind you if you get frustrated with some of your scores from me or understanding of where you are. So it's really just, and also if should we come into class in the second half of the semester, it's also good for any group work that we do. I will pair you with the appropriate level students rather than putting you in with students whose English level is too high for you to follow. All right, I think that's the first half of our class. Second half, I will talk more about these micro lessons, the key part of our course.